G'day guys, it's Calvin from the Coaching Company in New Zealand. Right, I've had quite a few emails and questions on finding part numbers, and I get them frequently, and I don't have time, guys, to go through and find people's part numbers because I've got my own jobs to do. But I've made lots of videos on finding part numbers, and I would really like to see some more discussion, of course, on the internet of how do I find this part number myself. I've looked in this, I've used this program, I've looked in this section, and I'm maybe still having trouble, so other people can actually help, or we can all learn how to find part numbers, and that's what this is about, and understand part numbers. Guys still don't understand that the last digit is just a supersession. So for example, a 89661 ECU 50, that's an LS, so it's a Celsius or an LS400 or an LS430. 141 ECU is exactly the same as a 140, and there might be a 142, all the same unit, all can be interchanged, not a problem. Now, of course, this is the site that I use a lot, and this is one of my favorites. I particularly like the cross-reference. Now, you can use the cross-reference without signing in, so that's really helpful. If you don't sign in, you won't have pictures, and a few people have had problems. There's an incognito window here somewhere that it shows here the security code doesn't come up. So if you've got an invite from someone, and I've invited hundreds of people, and I've used all my own invites, I've had to use other people's invites, and people I've invited, I say, hey, can you help me out here? And pretty much they always do. But if you get this, you may have a problem signing in. I don't know why it's doing that. I don't own the site, I just use it. Okay, so, but there's some other sites, and there's some other really good sites. So I was playing, and I use this one, Toyota EPC-data.com. Very, very similar. EPC electronic parts catalog, and this has got all the Toyotas in it. So I'm going to go to a Celsius, and this has got all those oddball Japanese ones that you may not find elsewhere. Now, I actually had a man, he's got a UCF30, it's actually an LS430, but Celsius, the same car, and it was I think it's a 5-speed, I'm going to go with a 5-speed, and he was having trouble with the seal on the side of the transmission. He sent me a message, and I saw him as same questions on the internet, on the Facebook, and someone kindly gave him a link to maybe this one. Yeah. No, it wasn't a 5-speed. Sorry, my mistake. It was a 6-speed. So let's go back. Let's go back further. It was a 6-speed because it had the filler plug on the side. So let's go to a 6-speed. And I started with this site, came across it, having a bit of a look, seeing how close it is to Toyo DIY, and it's very, very close. And we had a picture like this, and there's the transmission, there's the cover, there's the fill, and he was wanting a seal that runs along the side here. And it was really good that the person did show this picture, but it didn't show the seal. And this is where sometimes just spending some time having a look or understanding how that works, and it's the seal on the side of the shaft that goes through the box or through the transmission. And so I suggested that this one is probably a better option. And you can see here's the shaft, and there's the seal, there's the part number for the seal, and there's the number required for the car is 2 of them. It's the same seal both sides. So very quickly we can find the parts that we require. Excuse me. Now, I thought about that, and I'm just gonna grab that again, and I'm gonna copy that, and I'm just gonna flick in a new one. Now I thought, hey, what if I did this? And see what happened. And look at that. It switches to Lexus. So that gives you your Lexus options. All the same stuff. So again, allows us to find those part numbers very, very easily with very accurate listings. And then, of course, as I've showed before in some other videos, you can use some of the online dealers. Put the part number in and find better prices on your parts as well, and find options for these parts. So that is another awesome website. I could, of course, go through where's the LS430? Now there's an interesting thing to ponder, isn't it? There's no Lexus LS430 listed. There's an SC430, and a GS430. Ah, man, what have we got in general? There we go. LS430. So we can find those parts that we want. LS430. It's got me as being, there we go. And there's in Japan, no LS430 because they got the Celsius. Lexus USA, then we get an LS430. Oh, that nearly caught me out. Right, so that allows us to find those same parts with very, very good accuracy. Now the other website, guys, that I sometimes use is this one over here, Charm Ally. Now I had a couple of guys again this week, one guy from Russia and another guy from Poland. They drop shit in their engine. They drop bolts into their engines, and I had to explain to them, and I thought I'd use my best words, that if you drop a nut or a bolt in that engine, you should take it out regardless. I know I've seen bolts go down into sumps, and I've seen them sit there for 5 years, and then they've picked up, jumped under the crank and destroyed things. I've seen them get under valve springs. I've seen them get into parts of the head, under cams. It's bad. You should remove them, okay? But man in Russia wanted to know about torquing his cam caps back down. And I have got the factory manuals. There you go. And it's got the servicing on doing the cylinder heads, removal of the cylinder heads, and mine is directly from the Lexus manual. But not everyone has access to that. And again, I can't help everybody with access to all of the stuff. So we need another website to do it. And actually interesting on this, we were discussing the other day where someone told me that nowhere in the manuals does it say to reuse the factory head bolts. Okay, and we're gonna go down here, and I'm gonna very much, we're still fixing the heads, checking journals, and there's the plastic gauging, the clearances of the caps, and of course the caps are meant to be on the right side in the right places, and measuring everything, and then assembling the heads. Oh, wait right there. I will find what I'm looking for. Found it. Inspect cylinder head bolts. Vernier calipers. Measure the thread outside diameter of the bolt. So it actually shows that Toyota have a specification for reusing the head bolts. These guys over here that have used them like 10 times on their engines because they pull them apart every year when they race engines for a service. So just a little bit of information when you read the manuals. Yeah, sometimes I read manuals. But not everyone has access to manuals in this form. So using this website, there it is, Charm LI, we go to Lexus, and this one was a non-VVTi. I'm going to go to 94, and you can see it's actually coloured, so I've already gone through and checked that it was actually there. Cylinder head assembly, service and repair, and look at that. Very, very similar. Yeah, it's probably been scanned, so it's a bit fuzzy, but it's got the process of removing and service bolt. It's got a whole lot of really good info on servicing and repairs of the cylinder head. Lots of great information. Okay, so guys, I highly recommend using that website, and it shows some really, really good information. I actually went through and it showed how to do fuel pressure. I was just looking at fuel pressure and fuel pressure servicing and the specs on it. So it's got that information as well, which it would get rid of a lot of noise and a lot of incorrect information if guys referred back to the proper information from Toyota, which is like 95%, 98% correct. There's some little things that aren't always quite right, because the vehicles are now a lot older than when the Toyota engineers wrote the manuals, or they were predicting repairs, or they had repairs that well, we've had repairs these days that didn't exist back then because the cars are so much older. So hopefully that helps guys on finding part numbers and using and finding manuals. And remember too, is if you take this Lexus parts catalog part number, which I have it over here, I have one over here, didn't I? So if I take the seal here, there's the seal, there's the part number. If I take that part number, and even if I don't have a log into Toyo DIY, I can fire that into Toyo DIY, and I can paste that there, and I hope that's the right number that went through, and I can go search and find out that it fits a lot of other vehicles. So hopefully that's been helpful in finding some part numbers, finding some manuals. If you're doing your own repairs, finding places you can look to find these the information that you require, that is often a lot more accurate than asking some random guy on the internet. Hope that's been helpful. Talk to you soon. We'll catch you later.